What's up, family? I'm Juan Castillo, and when I'm on social media, my favorite show to watch is the Don't Shoot the Messenger weekly podcast. Chris G, Professional Sutton, Rucker Report delivers sports the way it's supposed to be, real and authentic. So get ready to be entertained. My boys are ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Ready? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me, X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Yo. Make sure everybody there. Welcome to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report. Cheers.
Hey, Chris, you got to turn your mic up just a tad bit because people got to hear what you got to say tonight, good brother. People got to hear what you got to say. Yeah.
We doing that.
Also, you showing your location, man. You got your location showing.
I got my location shown?
Well, like we can see where you at. You know what I mean?
Oh, got you.
You in the region of June, we know.
That's because he is.
Yeah, I know. So tonight, man, we wanted to do this yesterday, but just so what's going on. Before we start, I want to say happy birthday to our nephew and Ruck's son Bryce yesterday, man. He turned 35 years old, man.
Yeah.
You know, ran the bag up, man.
Yeah.
Ran that bag up, man. Appreciate everybody, tuning in tonight. This episode is really touching, but I want to thank all our sponsors. First of all, we want to thank 94.3 WYBC,
The Rhythm of the City.
And we also want to thank Inspired Rentals. Yes, that's Inspired Rentals. Let me find that. Where is it at? Why is it not up here? Yes, Inspired Rentals. You need a porta potty, you can go and get that. Please get that. That's 475-221-1598. Contact Myra. She'll get you that porta potty so you don't have to worry about all this corona stuff coming in your house, but you still can enjoy your family. Now usually we talk sports, and we are to a certain extent, but being black men, I was like, yo, fellas, we gotta talk about this because this shit is enough. For me, I was pissed off personally seeing all this, witnessing, what is going on, because it's funny how people want sports to resume because they want to feel entertained, right? They want sports to resume because they want to forget about all the shit that's going on in America and in the world. And sports is another way for them to take the attention off what's going on and deal with it. Like I had some people say, well, I don't want to hear what you got to say about your political views. I just want you to play sports and dribble that ball and shut up. Yeah, we all would like that to happen. We all would like to live in a world where we can just dribble, go outside, play ball. We don't have to worry about anything happening to us. We all would like that. That would be, in a perfect world, that would be great. We will all love that. But however, a lot of these players are affected by this because they have to live it, because a lot of them have got pulled over, because a lot of them know someone who was, incarcerated, due to the system. A lot of these players and these athletes, they're affected by this because they got to watch this and they're worrying, what's going to happen to me when I go to Utah? What's going to happen to me when I go to a new city? Am I going to get pulled over? Is this going to be me? Am I going to be the next victim? And some people think, well, you're in a bubble, you're safe, you're fine. Once you leave that arena, you tend to be subjected to that based on the color of your skin, which is sad, but a true statement. And so many times people negate that a lot of these players feel this. The Milwaukee Bucks, it happened in their state. So when you're talking about, they don't have to worry about this because they live in, a mansion. They got $1 million. No, they don't. They are still subjected to the same thing and the racial equality that go on with people of color. And to play with that burden and throw in the fact that some of them can't go see their families, they can't leave the bubble, they got to stay in the bubble, they are worried about their family members too. So I wanted to, put this out there because as I'm talking to my brothers, man, we always have a great, conversation. Chris and I, we had a good conversation yesterday. Ruck was busy, but he said some very profound things as well, like we all do. And I wanted to take this time and to let the people speak. I know we, usually deal with just sports, but this is bigger than sports. This is bigger than sport. This is bigger than us. This is a situation that needs to happen. And then you have some people that saying, well, everybody should be listening to, Kyrie. Now now who looking like the idiot? This is not the time to be saying who's right, who's wrong. We need to address the people that are wrong. We need to address the people that are wrong and not the people that had an idea that we're following. Like, stop that. Stop all this division. Let's get to what we need to get to. So I'm throwing it out there to my brothers, man. Like I said, this, as you can tell, I'm very passionate. I'm very worked up about this because, like, I hate when people keep saying, "Well, I don't want to hear your opinion. Just play sports. Just continue to be the sports monkey, so I can feel good." And this is perpetuated back since we got here in this country. Entertain me so I can feel better, but I don't care about your liberties. Ruck, I'll let you take it away, man.
Man, it's a lot to take away. It's a lot to digest. I was saying to a coworker of mine today when we were talking about it, and I was saying mentally I'm all over the place because it's just so much to process. Not only just with the Blake shooting, but just with things that go on and have been going on for so long. I mean, you want to say enough is enough. You want to kind of process things. And one thing that the pandemic has done is, yes, it has given you time to kind of sit still, but it has not, and all the events that have happened during the pandemic have not allowed myself to really process these events. So the only emotion that I continue to come up with is anger. I liked not only the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks took a stand. I know that there was some pundits that were talking about it was unfair for them to make that decision unilaterally without any consent with the Orlando Magic, even consent to their own front office. But I think it was a great show of solidarity that they came together and made that decision, and it was very impactful. I think what also made that very unique is not only because this event happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is 30 to 45 minutes outside of Milwaukee. If you looked at the statement that the Milwaukee Bucks gave, if anybody knows anything about Sterling Brown is a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, and he was assaulted by the police not only a year or so ago. So, it does hit all levels. As much as people want to say that people in the NBA don't have anything to worry about, they live a sheltered life, they get the best of the best. Again, like what you so eloquently put, the people that we watch, the people that we cheer for, they're from where we're from. They've experienced a lot of the same things that we have. They have been fortunate enough to make a different life for themselves and their family, and we should applaud them for that. But at the same time, they are from where we're from. They are people just like we are people. At the end of the day, no matter how much they have in the bank, when that line in the sand is drawn, the color line, clearly where they stand. But I think one of the other things that I think was very powerful, not only just with what Milwaukee has done, but I think it's time that if we're gonna discuss something with sport, that we do commend and shout out the WNBA for the trailblazers that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody wants to pay attention to the NBA and what the Bucks did, but
Right.
listen,
That was
the
powerful.
WNBA took a major stand
Mm-hmm.
on everything.
Right.
I would dare say and be willing to debate anyone that in the arena of social justice, in the arena of making pure and genuine statements, they have done it the best after Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
See Maya Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See their protests. See what their jerseys say. See what their t-shirts say. See what they do on a daily basis and what they talk about.
That's
and
right.
not only giving that, what they go through.
Yes.
Because they go through things at a different professional clip than any of these other sports
Making less.
do. You understand? So I think that it was a good thing that they did not play yesterday, that they won't play today, that they will resume at some point. I think it did send a strong message, but I am, in some senses, going to agree with some of the other players that say, yes, they should continue to finish out the season because what they have been doing with the platform is
Right.
pissing off the right people, and I love it.
Well, hold on. So I just want to read this real quick. So our listeners who are, who can't see it visually, it goes to your point, and hold that point. And I'm sorry to cut you off. Dark Mark said they can't boycott the season. They have signed contracts for the bubble, TV contracts to uphold, collective bargaining agreements coming up. So they can't just sit out and leave like people want them to, because they'll get sued out the ass. By the owners or maybe by the league, but sitting out sent a message to the world. Yes, it did. And like you're saying, with that platform, they're saying something. But go ahead, finish.
I was just saying, just like Mark said, it put everybody on notice. It put everybody on notice to say that, listen, we are serious about what we say we believe in, and we're willing to do some things that are going to make you sit up and take notice and take action. Because what a lot of people didn't report on, and what was like a sub headline, was that was the quickest I've ever seen the NBA Board of Governors come together on anything that's happened in the NBA. I think it was great that you get, owners like Michael Jordan and other people, what I'm saying, going out and reaching out to players and saying, listen, okay, CP, okay, Russ, what do you guys want? What is it that you want me to bring back to the room? Because I'm in the room.
Right.
And I think it's powerful that even as somebody like Jordan, because for as much flack as he gets from not only pundits, but people in his own community,
right? Yeah.
Look again who's bridging the gap.
That's true.
And that's major.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to give everybody a chance to really get on this and do what they got to do. But I tell you this, man, this is a time, like I said the other day, people, if you really want to say enough is enough, get behind your words, stand 10 toes down and do something.
Right.
Like Steven Jackson said the other day, it's either, get down. No, I'm sorry. He didn't say get down or lay down. He said it's either say it or stand down. You know what I'm saying? Either stand up or stand down. So that's where we at right now with it.
Right. Chris, you and I, we talked. We even talked about the Jacob Blake situation. We had our discussion about that. But we talked about some great things, and you had a lot of good things to say. You had a lot of great insight, to say, like always. What's your take on this, man? What's your take on all this?
Well, I'll say this. Can you hear me good?
Yep. Now we hear you, since you talked about it. Yep.
Look, I'll say this. I mean, a lot of the conversation that we had yesterday, those are personal views. I won't get too much into. I won't get too much into that. But I'll say this: I feel proud of them brothers in the NBA. And to kind of piggyback on what Ruck said, I wanted to get into this. I feel even more proud of them WNBA sisters because they got a lot more to lose. They have a lot more at stake because I just want people to realize that as much as everybody is kumbaya in the NBA and the WNBA and the NHL in the hockey league, as much as they're doing that, there's going to be some retribution at some point. There's going to be some retribution for them taking this stance. They're not going to forget about this. They can't do it now, but they're definitely going to try to get their payback for what happened to them. So,
hold
I
on.
just
So you telling me that these leagues are going to find a way to get back at these players for speaking out against injustices? Is that
let me tell you something. I think there's a real common misconception about what causes the most evil in this world, and I think what people mostly think is racism, but even above racism is money, and people will go to great lengths to punish other people for messing up their money, no matter how just or unjust, a group of people or the NBA and the WNBA, the stances that they take. Oh, they're not going to forget this. You can believe that. The NBA and the WNBA are not going to forget this. And it might not affect Giannis and LeBron and the marquee players, but some of them secondary players. As a matter of fact, like the Sterling Brown. There's going to come a time where they got to come back to the table, and believe you me, this is going to be a negative mark on their resume. Sure.
It's sad.
Yo, Pim, I don't know what that sound is, yo. Do you guys hear the sound? Or is it just me? Am I bugging?
I think that it might be Ruck. Yeah, I can hear a little bit, but
it ain't me. Are you always trying to say
they sound like you're trying to Teddy Riley. Stay trying to Teddy Riley Ruck.
Yo, man, listen. Listen. Frontier's cool.
I gotta be the AARP dude and get Teddy Riley all the time.
I'm sorry, man. You just got the Frontier, man.
Yeah. Look at you. Appreciate sounding like Roger Troutman over there. Yeah, I can feel the land.
See, don't do this. That's what they want us to do. They want that division.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
We can't do that. We gotta be bigger than that.
I'm not trying to cause no division. It just sounds like a highway in my ear every couple seconds, like somebody running around. I can't concentrate. It's just in my ear.
I promise you it's me, yo.
I don't know what it is, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I do want to get Nick on. He's a white guy so I do want to address some things. Yesterday people said, why you got these people on your page, expressing their views. They think that they saying racist stuff. Listen, I don't want it to just be all black people who agree with everything I gotta say. That's not how change get done. Okay, I'm gonna say that right now. I got people who are white, who will share their opinions and their views from a place of privilege, and we all might not like it. But let me tell you, they need to hear what we gotta say. Because believe it or not, some of these people are listening and they do hit me in the inbox like, well, I didn't look at it that way. I apologize. Now, some people saying, well, why can't they do that on Front Street? Some people do. But I'm going to leave people on my page because they need to hear what we got to say. Because if it's only black people that agree with me, then what change is really getting done here? And that's just how I feel. I'm not going to delete nobody because of what they said, unless it's like crazy, unless it's like straight racist and they talking nasty, then you got to leave. But if someone has an opinion, then we need to talk about it. Like for, case in point, Ryan Reed, love the dude. And he had an opinion. And him and a friend of mine, Stephanie, they started talking and he said, wow, I didn't even look at it that way. I didn't even see it the way you saw it. I respect that. Now, how could change get done is if I got everybody on my page saying, yeah, you're right, Marquette. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, hit that. Send me that share link so I can share it. No, I want everybody to be able to have that conversation on my page. And that's why I leave it open so people can have that open dialect. I want people to hear about this stuff. I want, my white counterparts to feel uncomfortable and to say, damn, I didn't even think about it that way. I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want black people to feel uncomfortable so we can say, what do we need to do to stop this? How can we talk? How can we have this discussion? So that's why I leave it up there. Not to say I'm going to delete you. Like I said, if you say something crazy, then you got to go. But if you're expressing yourself and if you really want to know, let's have that conversation. So Nick, I just sent you the invite. Let's see if he can get up there. So we can really talk about this. So Dark Mark said the big time players can sacrifice, but it's a lot of people in the league who can't afford to breach a contract because they have family to take care of. And that's a big issue. And that is one big thing that I think people want to happen. Like, why don't players just sit out? Why don't they just take us even during the Kaepernick thing? Why can't everybody just say no and take a knee? Because some people have livelihoods.
Oh, that's different though.
Right.
That Kaepernick joint is different. I'll tell you why.
It is. Go ahead, please.
Because football players don't got no balls.
And
I'm gonna just be up front about it. But let me tell you something. Everybody was making a big deal, as they should, that the MLB was getting involved, the NHL was getting involved. Obviously, the NBA, WNBA canceling games, taking a stand. And then I heard somebody go, "Well, football canceled practice," and I said, "Practice?" I said, "We talking about practice?
Not a game.
Not a game."
I said, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the NFL. I said, they'll get their chance. Because if you think that Jacob Blake is going to be the last unarmed black man to get shot by a police between now and the football season, you out your cotton picking mind. And I said that for a reason. Football will get their chance. NFL will get their chance to make a stand. Listen, I'm not telling anybody to boycott the whole season. Listen, you got to do what you got to do for you and your family. I ain't never going to get on that. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you what the NFL players are not going to do. And that's boycott even one game. They ain't going to do that. They might take a knee. They might wear some cleats with some messages. I can tell you what they're not going to do. They definitely ain't going. They definitely ain't going to boycott a game. That takes something. That takes something. One, you need a strong union behind you, and we know they don't got that. And then that takes some financial security, and we know they don't got that. So, and then it just takes some. You know what? I'm willing to take the hit, like Colin Kaepernick did. Like, I'm willing to take whatever the punishment is for this. And I know they don't got that neither. So no, I don't see the NFL doing that.
Yeah. Yo, Chris, I totally agree with that because, again, canceling practice, what message are you really sending, right? But I will say this, just like Chris just said. Not only are the players going to have to answer to this at some point before their season hits, Roger Goodell is going to have to make good on that conversation that he just had with Mr. Acho. He's going to have to come back and revisit that thing in real time and make some real headway with the league. But I'll tell you this too. Just like Chris said, there aren't a lot of NFL players that are willing to fall on the sword, like Cap did.
Right.
Right? And the only thing that would make it, and I want to choose my words wisely here, but if you really hear what I'm trying to say, you'll understand. The only thing that's going to make it impactful is if it's, especially in the NFL, is if it's somebody that does not look like us, that carries some weight.
Let me get to some of these comments, man. Piece of shot meat. He said, I think people need to sacrifice themselves instead of worrying about these damn athletes. I agree. He said most people criticizing didn't do a damn thing except buy Starbucks and buy and shop at H&M. Essex O'Brien said them quarterbacks will have to lead that. That's true. Them white quarterbacks. Raymond B. Bennett, peace God. He said the NFL Players Association is not strong. And then Amos, what's up? Amos down there in Georgia. He said boycotting NFL and college football would definitely bring about change. Shamik said again, how weak are the fans that didn't boycott? Listen, I'm weak. We talked about it, but it's other things that I did in in place of that. Also, he said, "I got you, Nick." He said, we got Nick, the mad scientist, in the back of dressing room. He's ready to go. He's charged." Amos again, he said, "But I agree with Chris. The NFL players don't have it in them to do that." And Raymond B. Bennett said, "Goodell, Roger Goodell."
No, he said Goddell.
Goddell, okay, Goddell. But I'm putting it into text, and people was like, "Who is that?" Roger Goodell. If you put that together, he's the commissioner of the NFL. Goddell, because that's what we think he is. Doesn't care because he represents the owners, and that's true.
That's true. I mean, look, that's a commissioner's job to rep the owners.
Absolutely.
So I'm not a fan of Roger Goodell, but I can't knock him for doing his job. But look, man, everybody gotta, you know what I mean. To get to Shamik's comment, everybody got to boycott their own what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I'm never gonna put. First of all, I'm never gonna put my worth as a black man into what another athlete does.
Right.
That's just for me, period. I'm never gonna put my blackness. My blackness is mine and mine alone. And nobody else can dictate that to me, and I can't dictate that to another black man either. You know what I'm saying? So them players gotta do what they gotta do. I would never say I'm not gonna criticize them for what the NFL won't do. But I will say the fact. And the fact is they won't do that.
That's true. Well, if you're just tuning in, you are tuning into the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. This segment is brought to you by Inspire Rentals. Yes, that's Inspire Rentals. Get your porta potties to have your love and your safe time with your family during this COVID. If you need that, you can call 475-221-1598. Contact Myra. In the chat with us today is a good brother, good fella, who's been down for the cause since day one.
A Buckeye faithful. Don't forget that. A Buckeye faithful.
Nick, the bad scientist, Figuarelli. How's it going tonight, brother?
I'm doing very well. Chris, I really hope you enjoyed a Big Ten season this year. Oh, wait! Anyway, so I've been shockingly pretty quiet on these last couple of days because I needed everything to play out, as they would say.
Right.
And I got to be honest with you. Yesterday, to me, was one of the most poignant and strongest days ever in the history of sports. Not just the NBA, not just Major League Baseball. For the players to do what they did, it took a lot of guts.
Yep.
It really did. I mean, this is something that you should not take very lightly. And yeah, games were canceled. Yeah, I saw some fans bitch and moan about, why are these games? Why do they care? Stuff like that. Because guess what? This is an overall society issue. Overall. It's not just sports. It's society in general. And for multimillionaires across all sports to say, I'm not playing, to make a statement, says something.
Mm-hmm.
For Kenny Smith on TNT to get up and walk off a live broadcast, that's something. For Mookie Betts in Major League Baseball from the Los Angeles Dodgers to pretty much stand up and talk to his teammates and says, I'm not playing, and all the teammates pretty much followed suit. That's something. Mm-hmm. For the Milwaukee Brewers, 30 miles from Kenosha, for them to get up and walk away and tell the Seattle Mariners, hey, we're not playing this game, and Seattle said, hey, we got no problems with that. That's something. Now, I heard there's rumblings about some players saying, nah, I'm not going to boycott. I'm going to play. I would rather play and stuff like that. Look, that's their opinion. Do I respect it? I do, to a point. You have to understand, an historic event has just taken place. It's time to put some stuff aside for the greater good. Now, there were some instances yesterday that really made me want to go like this. And because I'm in the New York, New Jersey area, I guess some people know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Knicks. The only franchise that I know that can screw anything up at a moment's notice. For them to come out in social media and say, we fully agree with the NBA stance, the commissioner's stance on this. I sat there and I read that and I was like, yep, Jim Dolan at his finest, because he's probably the worst owner in sports. The New York Mets. Brody Van Wagenen, the GM, walked back his comments from yesterday, apologizing to Commissioner Manfred and the ownership. Gee, there's a shocker. It makes me wonder how in this world you could be so asinine, so callous, so, oh, it's all about me type of thing. Try to get out your own little messages and still look like goddamn idiots to the world of sports. Mm-hmm. If anybody can explain that to me, I greatly appreciate it. But all in all, outside of those two little ignorant responses, the sports world, to me, made a huge, powerful statement. And it took a lot of guts and a lot of measured, responses for it to go through in the way that it did. Do I wish all the games were canceled? Yeah, because that would have made it even a bigger response. But to me, this is a very, very good starting point. Mm-hmm. And if NBA, if MLB could do it, maybe the NFL will follow suit. I saw the comments before I came in. Mm-hmm. I think the Baltimore Ravens said it best. The statement that they put out today pretty much was one of the greatest statements that I could ever witness from an organization. Bar none.
And what was that for those that didn't, hear about that?
Hold on for 1 second. If you guys want to talk, let me just pull it up on my social media feeds, and I'll read it out to you guys.
So, I mean, I would have to agree, Nick. I think that people don't understand that change doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow process. And during a time in a playoff game where it's really heating up, players said, nope, we're not playing today. We are good. We're not playing. Find somebody else to do it because enough is enough. We need to speak out. Did you get that?
I have it right in front of me.
So Nick is saying what the Baltimore Ravens said in their comment. And what was that?
With yet another example of racial discrimination with the shooting of Jacob Blake and the unlawful abuse of peaceful protesters, we must, in caps, unify as a society. It is imperative that all people, regardless of race, religion, creed, or belief, come together and say, enough is enough. This is bigger than sports. Racism is embedded in the fabric of our nation's foundation and is a blemish on our country's history. If we are to change course and make our world a better place, we must face this problem head on and act now to enact positive change. It is time to accept accountability and acknowledge the ramifications of slavery and racial injustice. Though we cannot right all the wrongs of our country's history, we can arrest and charge the police officers responsible for Breonna Taylor's killing and the shooting of Jacob Blake. Demand that Senator Mitch McConnell bring the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act of 2020 to the Senate floor to vote. Support state and federally mandated CALEA accreditation and national standards of care and policing. Encourage everyone to engage in the political process by registering to vote on both the local and national level. Demand prison sentencing reform that is fair and equitable. Encourage every citizen to act with respect and compliance when engaging with the police. If you feel there has been abuse of power, we encourage you to contact your police department's internal affairs unit. We will use our platform to drive change now, not for just our generation, but for the generations to follow, for our sons, for our daughters, and for their children.
It's very powerful. Very, very, very powerful, man. Nick, so while I have you on the line, what do you say? Because I have some friends who are Caucasian and, trying to explain to them, what's going on. And some of them say, well, they should just play. Like, I don't care about your, your rights or how you feel. I came to see you play. I don't care about your political stance. I don't care about how you feel. How do you feel about that, man?
This is a PG-rated show, so I'll be.
No, it ain't.
It
ain't, because it's 9:30. Kids in bed.
I'm still gonna be PG-rated.
Okay. I respect it.
For someone to say that, you are an ignorant ass. You really are. Because, yeah, you pay to see them play. Good on you. What if that happened to you? What if you, Mr. Joe Public, were harassed, abused, anything of that nature? How would you feel about it? Look, I'm a paying customer too. I would pay to go to a basketball game or a football game, but I totally get where the players are coming from. I stand behind what they did. So I missed a game. It's one day of a very long life that I will be living in. It's one day where, okay, I spent the money, but guess what? A message has been powerfully sent by people that care on this planet. Now, I know there are other idiots out there that pretty much say, oh, they're just doing it to get more fame and this and that. And, they really don't care. They're just doing it like to save face or something like that. Stand in their shoes for a little bit. Really, stand in their shoes. Now, in my lifetime, have I ever had any run-ins with the law, or have I had any issues with people, that say something to me that causes me to break down or something like that? I've been called names. I've been called many things that I can't repeat on here. Mm-hmm. But I keep moving forward. I keep going. If I had to walk off the court myself to support them, if I had to walk out of the stadium, just like they're walking off the field, I would do so. I would have no problems doing that. I paid X amount of money to watch a football game. They walk on the field, they decide to walk or the court or the ice or whatever it may be. If they decided to walk out, I would stand up and walk out with them. You wasted your money. Yeah, I did. But I'm making a point just like them. I don't have to sit here and watch nobody on the field.
Right.
I'm getting up and walking out because I'm making a statement too. And I hope people don't misconstrue it. We're saying I'm walking out on the players. No, I'm walking out with, not because of. I'm walking out with.
Wow. Nick, I want to thank you, brother. I want to thank you for your time, man, and always supporting, always seeing past the bull and really understanding. Hey, Chris, before he leave, we have Kim on the line, and Kim gave you your favorite chant. And what would that be, Chris?
Did she say 08?
I-O.
I-O, baby. I-O.
Before I do go, I do have something to say to Chris.
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
The University of Nebraska, 8 players today decided to sue the Big Ten to try to somehow get the season to this rolling to play football. When I saw that, 2 weeks ago when this happened on August 12th, the first thing I said, there's going to be lawsuits. There are going to be lawsuits. Nebraska, I knew, was probably going to be one of them because they were one of the very few schools that came out and said, no, we want to play.
Right.
I have never seen so much egg thrown on the faces of the powers that be of the Big Ten, including their new commissioner, Kevin Warren. It was almost mind-boggling, his response. Oh, yeah, we're all on lockstep and stuff like that. Ryan Day, your head coach, came out and said, what? Excuse me? Lockstep? Really? My guys want to play. James Franklin, my guys want to play. Jim Harbaugh, my guys want to play. Parents from all over the place. Our kids want to play. You're keeping them from playing. Athletic directors want to play. We know where the problem is, Chris. It's up there. It's up on top. It's the powers that be that don't have the pulse of their people. I hope this lawsuit goes somewhere and the screws get turned even tighter on Kevin Warren and the powers that be, because I want to see so much egg on the Big Ten powers paying faces that I want football. Yes, I've been calling for it. I want Big Ten football. I actually enjoy Big Ten football. I want to loathe my hate towards Ohio State. I can't have a season where I can't do that. No, in all seriousness, I really hope this lawsuit goes somewhere. It probably won't. Unfortunately, I think this is going to get thrown out quicker than you can say boo, but I commend the players for actually taking a stand and doing what they need to do to try to get Kevin Warren and the powers that be to understand you can't run our lives. So,
yeah. Well,
look,
Kim
I'll
said,
say this. Hold on. First of all, shout out to Kim because she always keeps it 100.
You heard what she
Michigan
said?
is probably happy that they don't got to play us, and that's the true fact. But I'll say this about Kevin Warren. Even though overall I believe that he made the right decision, I do think it was premature. I think that there was a slot for them to at least start the play, at least get the chance to start the season. I do think, now this is a personal opinion. This is backed by some people in the science community. They feel that the coronavirus in tandem with the flu, that is going to be really bad. And that's going to be in the heart of the football season, college and pro. So I do think that it's going to get, ramped back up, and it's a smart decision for them not to play. But I do wish that Kevin would have said, you know what, until that's a problem, let's play. Because it's funny, and this came out, I think, a couple weeks ago. Kevin Warren has a son that plays for Mississippi State. As a family, they made a decision that he should play. As the commissioner of the Big Ten, he made a decision that took away the decision from all of the parents. And I think that is where it can be a little bit unfair. What say you, Nick?
The issue that I have with Kevin Warren was that when he made his statement about canceling the season, he made it sound like that everybody was in lockstep, that it was like a 12-2 vote. It came out that it was so far from anywhere near unanimous that it was actually more 8-6, very close to being 7-7. The Big Ten actually thought that if they started a domino, everybody would fall in line. The Pac-12, the ACC, the Big 12, leaving the SEC to lurch to probably do whatever. Well, the Pac-12, we knew they were going to fold. They're like, yeah, whatever, dude. Because that's the way the Pac-12 is. The ACC decided, you know what? We could do this. So the Big 12 decided, you know what? We're going to follow the ACC. And the SEC, we knew they were going to play. SEC is like coronavirus. Be damned. One of the overriding factors that nobody's talking about here is Notre Dame. The Big Ten counted on Notre Dame saying, we're not going to play this season. Notre Dame said, you know what? We'll play the ACC this year. We're going to play with the ACC. They already play with the ACC in basketball. We can play with them in football. And that is another thing that the Big Ten did not expect to happen. The Big Ten right now, outside of the Pac-12, the Big Ten's on its own little island. And they have sharks circling that island.
Typical.
So, I mean,
Well, listen, the Big Ten Island is really, if we're going to be truthful about what the Big Ten Island is, it's Ohio State, because no other program in the Big Ten, and this is not even me being very boastful of Ohio State, which I love to be, but listen, the only team that got took out of national contention from all of these conferences, not playing, that being the Pac-10 in the Big Ten, is Ohio State. Nobody believes in any other team in the Pac-10 or the Big Ten. So I'm just saying that's a true statement, whether we like Ohio State or not. Ohio State is the only real contender that got pulled off of having an amazing year. So all these others,
help me out, Rook, please.
Yo, look at this face.
Thank you, Kim. Kim agrees with me. Somebody with some sense.
Oh my!
Hey, Nick. Like I said a minute ago, man. Them doggone Catholics did it again, huh?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Don't count Notre Dame. They're not even in the Big Ten. They're independent. As a matter of fact, they've been leaning more ACC. They've been leaning more ACC for years.
Yep.
But Chris,
Ohio State don't.
Chris, it's one thing that you can say, and that when the Golden Domers move, it moves the needle in college football. You know that.
Unfortunately.
But hold on. But who doesn't the Golden Dome play? Who don't they have a rivalry with? Ohio State. Oh, yeah. They have a rivalry. Yeah. Hold on. They have a rivalry with Michigan. They have a rivalry with Michigan. They have a rivalry with Michigan State.
Doesn't matter.
Who don't?
It doesn't matter. It's a Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame. It's what do you know? Jesus. It's touchdown Jesus. When touchdown Jesus raises his arms like this, like Ruck said, the needle moves and it moves.
That's it.
It moves. And when they said they want to play this year, the Big Ten went like this. Oh no!
Hold on. Let me tell you what a Buckeye ain't never gonna put stock in. Notre Dame. Okay? Notre Dame ain't been a relevant football team in when's the last time they went to the national championship?
I'm gonna ask you something point blank right now. Point blank. If Gene Smith were the president, not the athletic director, if Gene Smith were the president of Ohio State University, do you think Ohio State University would have went to Kevin Warren and said, you know what? Screw you. We're going to go play. We'll play the ACC, the Big 12, and SEC. We'll do what we have to do, because when Ryan Day said what he said, that he wanted to play the season, the first person that backed him up was the athletic director, Gene Smith. Now, I may hate Ohio State. I may loathe
just a little bit
Ohio State. I respect Ryan Day. I respect Gene Smith. I have little respect for their president, because their president, all he cared about was saving face with Kevin Warren. Smith and Day came really close to telling the president, either you do something or we're going to do something for you. Turned out cooler heads prevailed. Ohio State went lockstep, decided, you know what, we're not going to cause a ruckus. But when Ryan Day and Gene Smith said what they said, whether it was intended or not, a ruckus was felt. And I got a damn feeling, a very good feeling, that Kevin Warren is going to say something by November. They're going to try to squeeze in a 12-game season somehow to get to January, to get to play in a bowl game. No weeks off. It's probably going to end up happening. Or it could be 11 weeks. Or it could even be 10 weeks. But I have a feeling, you can quote me on this, that by November, there will be a football season that leads to January.
Okay.
It can be done. The question is, will it be done? And on that note, gentlemen, peace and love as always.
Yes, sir.
Cat, you know where to find me.
Yes, sir. Of
I'll
course.
be back.
All right. So when we have college football, Nick, we're gonna have you come in, man. Appreciate you, brother.
No problem. Have a good one, guys.
All right, take care.
All right, Nick.
That was Nick, man. Him and Chris, they can talk Big Ten all day. I mean, it's really only one team to talk about in the Big Ten. That's Northwestern. But anyway, fellas.
See, listen, you can do all the jokes and jabs that you guys want, and that's fair. I'll take it. Again, like I said, I know you guys are not used to excellence and dynasties when it comes to sports.
Please.
So
Whoa.
handicap you guys because I know it's not a custom.
You know the Florida State Seminoles is used to that. Boy, you
I
better
know
stop
what they used
that.
to. They used to stealing crab legs. That's what they
Listen,
used to.
you
But
crazy.
I'm talking about what's
My
going
Florida
on
Gators
right
ready.
now.
My Florida Gators ready. Watch this.
Listen,
Watch this.
watch what?
Watch
L?
what we do this year. You crazy.
Come on now.
You crazy.
Listen, guys.
We
I
we going on the
understand
way.
it. I get it. You guys are far removed from greatness. I'm not still in it, so you don't know how it feels.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Watch this.
Boy.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Shout out to Kim, only real one in this chat room right now.
Oh my God. She's a lose no two. She's a lose no two. Damn Buckeye. What the hell is a Buckeye anyway?
It's a nut. You know, you always trying to get one.
Yep, that's why. So fellas, I appreciate you guys, man. You know, Nick, thank you. Thanks to everybody that made comments.
Whoa. We're not done.
What are you? Okay.
What is you talking about? Listen, there was multiple injustices done.
All
One
right.
of them was Nate McMillan getting fired by the Pacers.
Oh yes. Let's talk about that. Please tell the people. For those of you that don't know who Nate McMillan, I'm on my DJ Envy. Tell them who Nate McMillan was, Chris, and please break down that story, sir.
Former player. Hey, Ruck, don't you got some love for Nate McMillan?
I got a whole bunch of love for Nate.
I know you got love for Nate McMillan.
Seattle Supersonics Nate, resident of Murfreesboro, North Carolina Nate. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole bunch of love for Nate.
So,
But
Nate McMillan,
Larry Bird ain't had no love for him.
yeah, Nate McMillan, who's been nothing but a success as a coach in the NBA, and took this ragtag group of Indiana Pacers, you know, after the whole, you know, ball game, Paul George couldn't carry the load. Brung them to the playoff for 4 straight years. 4 straight years. Got a contract extension 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
2 weeks ago, got a contract extension. Faced with multiple injuries. We all know Victor Oladipo hasn't been healthy for going on 2 years.
20.
Hasn't been healthy since his injury. Sabonis didn't come to the bubble for health concerns. No knock on that. They get swept by the Miami Heat, and he gets fired because they heard rumors that Mike D'Antoni, if he don't win the chip, is getting fired, and they want to make room to bring Mike D'Antoni into Indiana. Let me tell you what they did Nate McMillan so wrong. And I don't want to hear the Stephen A. Smith excuse, well, you made it to the playoffs 4 times and you got bounced. It's the Indiana Pacers. They don't got a credible start. Listen, I love Victor Oladipo. I love his game. I love the way he goes after it, and he's not a bad R&B singer at that.
True.
He's the closest. He's the closest thing they got to a star. And best believe Victor Oladipo ain't a high-ranking star in the NBA. And Nate McMillan run that team to the playoff 4 times in his 4 years there. 4 times had to win the playoff. Took LeBron and them to 7 one of them years. Took LeBron and the Cavs to 7 one of them years. And soon as you heard that you could get the overused, overrated, never winning Mike D'Antoni, you get this man the paper. Let me tell you something. Ain't no good gonna come by them. So they do right by Nate McMillan.
You do right by me.
Telling you that right now. Let me tell you something. You think Mike D'Antoni know how to work with that ragtag group of players?
No.
We seen what Mike D'Antoni do with them type of players. It's called the Knicks. We saw what he did there. It's called the Lakers. We saw what he did there.
And we see
if he don't got a star, and I mean a bona fide star, Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul. If he don't got them, he don't got shit.
But even with that, he's still not winning no chips, though.
He's still not winning no chips.
But he's getting big market jobs, which he shouldn't be, because he's not. Again, he's doing just enough to stay afloat. But had he been someone else, I don't know, maybe like Nate McMillan, would he still be in the league for this long? Or be a head coach?
No, you know that. You know that, man. It's not only just with Nate McMillan, but again, just like you put there, do we get enough chances? Talking about Nate McMillan, you talk about we always and will continue to talk about Mark Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I know that Ty Lue is a hot name right now, but it's listen, the NBA is just like the NFL. They give a lot of these coaches opportunities to fail up. Now, as much as it did kind of please me to see Brett Brown get the axe too, I don't think that whole mess in Philadelphia was his fault. I think Philly did themselves a disservice by trying to combine the certain mix of players that they do. And one thing that I do agree with Bruce Bowen, and he said this the other day, when is somebody going to actually blame Joel Embiid? Instead of letting him get the skate pass like he always do, you know what I'm saying? You excuse his temperament, you excuse his antics, and he never gets none of the blame. And he's supposed to be the superstar. Remember, trust the process. When the process is going to be in shape. For somebody that's supposed to be the dominant big man in the league, when is he going to show and prove that he is that instead of just that he can get under people's skin? I mean, hey, it's a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff going on in the league. A lot.
Crazy.
And it's hilarious. But like Chris said, it's a damn shame what they did to Nate, man. I felt when I heard about that, man, I felt like that scene in Coming to America when they walked in the apartment and they saw the outline on the floor. He's like, damn shame what they did to that dog.
That's true, yo. Because man, yeah, like I said, man, you got black coaches. They have better products, and they just one win away from getting there, and they get axed. And then they get these other coaches who go in there and just mess the whole flow of everything up. But then somehow, some way, they find a way to get back to where, they should be. You know what I mean? Like it's like black coaches can't even win championships. They gotta win.
No, they go in the situation. What they do is the Nate McMillan, the Mark Jackson, they lay the groundwork, and then another coach come in when it's already ready made, and they just gotta add the little special sauce to it.
That's it.
You wasn't there. You didn't have to go get the cow. You didn't have to go butcher it. You didn't have to skin it. You didn't have to process it.
Right.
You everything was already done. You just had to sprinkle a little salt bay. You just had to sprinkle a little salt on top. And that's all. That's the rest of what was needed. Listen, I love Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is a great dude. He really is, yo. I mean, there's no way that you could watch the Last Dance documentary and not think Steve Kerr is a great dude. And I think he's done a phenomenal job in Golden State. But he ain't lay that groundwork though.
Right.
He ain't lay that. Let me tell you something. The confidence that Draymond Green had, Mark Jackson installed that. The coach that was running around looking like a crazy person saying that Stephen Clay is the best shooting backcourt of all time, that was Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson put that confidence in them boys. Okay? And only thing Steve Kerr had to do is sprinkle a little salt. You know what he did? The only thing that he really did was, the defense was already set. Because we know Mark is a defensive guy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna take David Lee out the starting. I'm gonna take David Lee and Iggy out the starting lineup, and I'm gonna insert Draymond instead. And I'm gonna run the Hamptons 5, not the Hamptons 5. There was the def lineup or whatever. Yeah, def lineup. I'm gonna run the def lineup and go small, and that's gonna be the little bit of sprinkle he put on top. And I'm not gonna say that they didn't change things. It definitely did, but you telling me Mark Jackson couldn't have figured that out if given an opportunity?
If given a chance.
Right.
If given a chance, I mean, he got fired on a year that they went 7 against the Clippers. It arguably got robbed. That was the year that Donald Sterling did all the wild stuff. And that game 7 came down to Steph Curry getting fouled on a 3 and the refs didn't call it. Now, I got my theories on why the refs didn't call it, but whatever. Mind you, the Clippers went on to lose to OKC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
OKC or the Spurs, one of the two. I can't remember. One of the two. I think it was OKC.
It was us.
Okay, they went on to lose to OKC, and that was the end of them. And I guarantee you, I don't know if the Warriors would have won, but I know that would have been a great matchup. Because we saw the matchups that they put up against each other as they played for years to come after that. So, only thing I'm saying is, what they do is they let these black coaches lay the groundwork, and then they let somebody else come in and sprinkle a little bit of fairy dust on it, and now all of a sudden, they're the hottest thing fucking smoking. Bunch of bullshit.
And it's sad because it happens in certain markets where, again, African American coaches have stepped in and made huge, tremendous strides.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want, but we all remember what the Clippers were before Doc Rivers got there.
Trash.
We know exactly what they were, right? And the thing is, for certain organizations, and I'm going to bring it back to something that Nick said too, they're going to screw it up. The Knicks do everything in their power, right, to come back off of the Charles Oakley incident, the Spike Lee incident. They hire, Steve Stout, worldwide, like they get everybody that you could get that is going to make some power moves for the Knicks finally. And the cherry on top is Tom Thibodeau. That's what you want to roll out here. Tom Thibodeau, right? How, Sway? How?
Right.
Where besides just like Chris pointed out, because think of it like this too. Tom Thibodeau was successful in Chicago with an MVP Derrick Rose and some other 1A stars, Jimmy Butler, and some solid B stars, Luol Deng, you know what I'm saying? My man Sticky,
Noah.
Some really solid stars. But then you get more stars, right, of a different caliber that you actually have to make mature. Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, and you can't do nothing with them. So they give you the keys to the biggest markets in the league. How? How does that happen? How does that happen?
Hey, Ruck, you know what I like to call that? I like to call that bailing up.
There you go.
There you go.
Listen.
I'll wait for the say.
Hey, listen. Somebody tell Lil Chris and Quetty to put that on a t-shirt.
Get
it right.
Yo, and I don't want to cut you off, but Quet, did we not have this conversation a couple nights ago when I'm talking about Tom Thibodeau, and I'm saying, I said everything you just said verbatim.
Yep.
And I'm going, how does he deserve, granted, the Knicks job is not an attractive job at all, but how is it that he's the sought-after coach?
Right.
And again, like I said, but we had this conversation a bunch of times before. The layup is there for the Knicks. Bring Mark Jackson back to New York. Bring him back to the Garden.
Chris, why would they want to win? Why would they want to win? It is very evident and clear that the Knicks do not want to win. The Knicks, listen, James Dolan knows I don't got to win a damn game, and I know I'm still going to be the sold-out play in the world. And that's the problem.
Again, it's just not only is it not a good sports decision, but it's not a good business decision. But one of the other things that I really wanted, and Chris had brought this up, but I really feel like people kind of overlook this thing, especially when we talk about black coaches that lay the groundwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say what you want. Say what you want. The Toronto Raptors are where they are because of Dwayne Casey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can celebrate Nick Nurse all you want. He got a championship with Kawhi. That was a hell of a switch. Kawhi for DeMar, right?
Some things fell in place for that to happen, but go ahead. Yep.
You come back and you have a solid, even though I really don't believe that he was the coach of the year, right? I think me personally, I think you got to look at Rick Carlisle. I think you should look at Doc. I think you should even look at Billy Donovan before you say Nick Nurse. But Dwayne Casey did a hell of a job with building that culture in Toronto, with developing all of that talent. And all we do is shout out to people that come right after. And listen, man, it's just like somebody buying a sports car and the person that built it just leave the keys on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you that dude.
But Ruck, hold on. You know who Nick Nurse didn't have to go up against? LeBron. That's who he got. See, people keep forgetting that Dwayne Casey didn't have Kawhi, and he didn't have to go up against LeBron. Because who gave Toronto problems in the East when they were dominant other than LeBron? That was the knock on them. That was the knock on Toronto. It was like LeBron got their number. First of all, LeBron got a lot of niggas' numbers out here. Okay, easy. He got a lot of niggas' numbers, and I'll even go a step further. LeBron had Golden State number until KD got here, because they had nothing and nobody to match up with him when he had just one more running mate. Just one more. So you're gonna knock Dwayne Casey and let him go because he got to go up against the Titan of the East. And then you bring in this new guy, you give him a new toy. He don't got to go up against LeBron, and now all of a sudden he the second coming. And Nick Nurse is a nice dude and a nice coach. I don't want to take that away.
Nice coach. I tell you, Chris. I bet you what Nick Nurse will not be doing.
What's that?
He not gonna be all hyped to play Brooklyn again if Greg Popovich get over there.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's see.
That smoke.
Let's see how confident Nick Nurse and the Toronto Raptors organization are when they got a beast over there again. Because let me tell you something. I like Giannis. Giannis is a good player. I do. I don't want to sound like I'm knocking Giannis.
Nah,
I like Giannis. He's exciting. But he ain't it, though. Okay? Like, he ain't it.
Bro,
he got a lot of things.
Chris, chill. Listen, we got to save that for the beginning of the show because we got people who agree with what you're saying. We got a lot of people who agree with what you're saying and a lot of these groups. So I want to spice that up so we can get people going. Because there's a lot of people that's saying what you're saying, man. A lot of people.
All right.
So we're going to say that. Go ahead.
You don't never let a nigga be great. You know what I mean?
Yo, I know we about to go.
You're not about to get this tangent that I was about to go on. You just killed it. You just killed it. And I don't know if I can recreate it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Chris, listen.
It's over, Chris.
Chris.
Thrill is going.
Chris, you like a brand new Lamborghini, man. You just push that button and you going, man. Come on, man. Come on now. That's easy. That ain't nothing to you, man. That ain't nothing to a player like you, man. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. Anything else, fellas? Because I want to say that topic, Chris. I know you hate me right now. It's all right, though. And first time a black man.
Let me tell you something. I never hate you. You're my brother. I love you.
I love you too, man. Love you too. Thank you, man. If we don't have anything else to say, you want to put anything out there, let people know what to watch, let people know what to, chime into. What y'all got?
I ain't telling nobody what to watch and they ain't paying me. I ain't about to be plugging stuff for free out in these streets.
No, I'm talking about
you want me to plug your show? You want me to plug your show? You better hit up professionalsutton.com and pay some money.
That's true. That's true.
You better get that cash app.
That's true.
I only promote two things on this show: Buckeye football and Duke basketball. I gotta hear that.
Okay. All right. Well, we cannot go anywhere. We cannot leave without having our segment of Say Word. So that is the chance where our deacon, Deshaun Rucker, take us out, man. He gives us a good word for tonight, man. So what's the word for tonight, good brother?
Man, oh man, oh man, man. I will say this, man. The word tonight I've gotten from Chris Webber by way of Dr. Martin Luther King, man. Should not be worried about the words of your enemies, but the silence of your friends. Should not be worried about the words of your enemies, but the silence of your friends. Again, people, and I really wanted to go this direction in the beginning of the show, but one of the things that we got to understand and that we really got to tap into is that all this change that we're demanding needs to happen at home first. Needs to happen in our community by our community. And until we really fully understand that lesson, the change that we're seeing will continue to happen because they think it's all right because they see us do it to us. We got to stand strong and really believe in the change that we want to see. And it starts at home. But again, don't worry about the words of your enemies. Be concerned about the silence of your friends. So the people that say that they with you, if they ain't talking like you, if they ain't walking like you, it's either you better check them or you better get a new circle. So be easy, people. Big word.
Well, listen, man, on that note, man, thank you. Everybody, again, this is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I want everybody to know that's tuned in and that's listening this far. We thank you so much, man. And again, thank you to everybody that tuned in to our show. So thanks again for watching tune into another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, The Rock Report.
Peace. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, The Rucker Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Ready? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.